What is good, Cardano fam, Ada gang? We have lots of exciting updates to unpack today, so hit that subscribe, hit that like. Cardano ADA 24-hour trade volume surpasses $700 million according to CoinGecko. ADA long positions on Strike Finance total nearly $1.8 million versus $157,000 short, highlighting over 91% bullish sentiment in Cardano. Are we due for a big Giga Chad bull run? A nice run for alts? I think sooner rather than later. Bitrue, with over $400 million in 24-hour trade volume, is to launch a boosted ADA staking pool with 20% APR this Monday, December 1st. Another bonus, this time by weeks, an exchange serving over 6 million users in over 130 countries and over $2 billion in 24-hour trade volume, launches a new user bonus for ADA traders with $50,000 in USDT rewards, and this promotion ends on December 5th. Palm Economy is preparing to onboard the first cohort of 1,000 Nigerian farmers to Cardano and their platform, Palmyra, with their own decentralized IDs and verified credentials to map their farms, trace their cocoa end to end, and work with local buying agents. Very refreshing utility. Charles Hoskinson's Midnight Whiteboard video surpasses 4.4 million views on YouTube in less than a couple weeks. Charles Hoskinson says the Midnight Glacier drop was the largest distribution event in the history of cryptocurrencies. We have the numbers, with over 4.5 billion Night token claims registered across more than 8 million participating addresses. Charles goes on to say that with the lost and found, if you did not participate in Glacier Drop and you find your private keys later on, you can claim some Night. That's very good, but not just for users. Also, it's going to be great for exchanges. He goes on to say that this is a creative mechanism to get exchanges of the future later on to redeem on behalf of their users. So in case you have your Cardano on a centralized exchange and they're not distributing yet, they may participate as Night climbs up in value. So what a fantastic utility that they thought that through. Charles says Midnight is just explosive. December 8th, Night token comes out with a lot of great liquidity, a lot of amazing announcements, and tier 1 listings for the first time ever for a Cardano native asset. Charles says Q1 of next year will be in the next era where the federated mainnet is going to launch, and that's going to even have a larger set of partners, announcements, and other things. Charles says we have some incredible news about dual Cardano Midnight integrations. We've been in deep negotiations with a lot of people. Exciting stuff. Charles says we are working 24 hours, 7 days a week on Laos. We keep adding, and that team is building up faster than any other team we've had. I told the guys, we gotta get Laos out next year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get that Ouroboros Laos and all the other goodness that we have around the corner. Charles says, I put in an enormous amount of personal time, as has Brad Garlinghouse, Brian Armstrong, and dozens of others on advancing crypto clarity, crypto legislation. They're heroes in this fight, and they represented the industry really well. It's always refreshing to hear Charles talk about other leaders, other blockchains. More collaboration is good. Charles says we have a really amazing Midnight product that we'll discuss and showcase at Consensus Hong Kong that will blow everybody's mind. From a marketing perspective, it's 10 times better than Hydra Doom. And Hydra Doom was amazing. And guys, I never played Doom until Hydra Doom, and I was really impressed with that demo. I think it was awesome. I said we bring it back and bring some other stuff similar to that. Charles says RealFi is the sleeper. I'm speaking at Abu Dhabi Finance Week. There's going to be a lot of big money at events like that. He says we did 1 million plus loans in Kenya and Uganda to test fast 30 to 90 day loans. And RealFi will launch on Cardano. RealFi and Midnight will be the largest drivers for TVL and transactions on Cardano. So it's not that banking the unbanked is just this meme and was abandoned. They've been working on this. You guys can see the website for yourself with RealFi. It's just about going about it the right way, testing out the model, testing out the loans, testing out the credit model, if you will, and doing it with integrity. Charles says the reality is we're all friends now. We're already talking about Midnight on Solana for privacy for Solana contracts and real-world assets that can enjoy the liquidity and DEXs in Solana. A lot of cooperation is already starting behind the scenes. That's what I'm talking about. Charles Hoskinson says if it's a Midnight integration, it's a Cardano integration. I believe that Midnight was the key to bring Circle, Tether, Bridges, and Oracles to Cardano. We have a lot of things that will bring a ton of TVL to Cardano. Now, we have to talk about this again because the vote is just blazing through. So if you didn't get the video yesterday, just a reminder that Charles Hoskinson shared the first joint proposal from Intersect, IOG, Emergo, Cardano Foundation, and Midnight Foundation. They have come together with this newfound unity. And of course, it's going to be targeting tier 1 stablecoins, institutional grade oracles, custodians, wallets, cross-chain bridges, and on-chain analytics. Now, 48% yes already, 0% no. So this is a great example of the D-Reps rallying together and getting this through the door quick. So awesome stuff. I think we're going to see this passed in record time. TapTool says, don't write Cardano off per the Motley Fool. Seems like they're not very foolish. Because ADA is definitely, I think, a sleeper, very underrated. And I think this is why we're seeing also on Polymarket that the chance and prediction for a Cardano ETF this year has been spiking. We hit like this all-time low of 14% and we're already on the rise, now up to 28%. What else is going on? Well, let's talk about XRP a little bit. And the reason for this is because here, this is a great post by Vet where David Schwartz was talking about smart contracts on XRPL programmability, but I just want to focus on his statements here regarding that, we don't need full general purpose smart contracts, but a little bit of programmability would benefit XRPL, and there's a lot of yield products as well. And the reason why I mentioned this is it ties into an older statement by Charles in August, I believe, where he was having a great conversation with Brad Garlinghouse about XRP, and that Lace Wallet is going to support XRP. Now, at the time, he said before the end of the year. So we don't know. Maybe that'll be pushed into 2026. But I think lo and behold, we will see XRPL support in Lace Wallet. And I think it makes a lot of sense given the narrative of yield products. XRP doesn't have this native yield, native staking right now. And that can change and be contributed to by something like Lace Wallet. If we can get easy programmability, contribute to XRPL, give them some yield, why not? I think that's good. Polymarket predicts an 87% chance the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates by 25 basis points on December 10th. So this continues to rise up. It was 84, 85, now 87. President Trump says the United States may potentially cut income tax due to tariff revenue. Now, take this with a heaping grain of salt. But at the end of the day, I'm seeing a lot of statements by POTUS and others really pushing towards a risk-on mindset, whether it's silver climbing in price, whether it's Tether accumulating so much gold, whether it's the statements about the S&P 500 by JP Morgan and more, or the statements by the president. Take it with a grain of salt, but it looks like we're getting a big sentiment shift towards pumpy pump. Wendy O, with over 262,000 subscribers on YouTube. Think of her whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's good to see what creators who have some communities on YouTube and elsewhere, what their sentiment is towards Cardano. And she says, I'm glad that everything's okay, and I hold Cardano. So it's good to see some positive sentiment just for the sake of a temperature check of what creators are saying on YouTube and elsewhere. So ADA right now, It's not where I would like to see it. I would rather like to see ADA right now in like the 0.7 and higher. However, lest we forget that ADA had a fantastic run going into November of last year, and that's when we saw so much FUD as well. I still remember the Luke Belmar post, 4th week of October, saying imagine buying Cardano, and the weeks following, we tripled and quadrupled. So sentiments can change fast. So I will continue to watch the market, report on the exciting news, guys. Hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving and a happy Black Friday. Secure all the deals that you're looking for, you know what I'm saying? And I would say the most exciting thing for me, I'm really looking forward to tier 1 stablecoin. I'm really happy that Charles has mentioned that Midnight has essentially been the catalyst, the key to unlock these conversations to one day bring a Tether and Circle. Who knows, maybe RLUST, maybe USD1. I would love to see Chainlink and all these sorts of integrations that the community has been asking for. So it's fantastic that we've had such a fast yes vote. Hopefully we get this sooner rather than later. And I will say one last thing. It's an observation by Pi, the Sunday Labs CTO, and others as well, that it's a small amount, right? 70 million ADA is not much when it comes to securing these deals, maintaining them, issuance, etc. But like Pi was alluding to and many others, it seems like the other entities are also going to pull out of their own stockpiles as well and make sure that we have something that is both fuego and long lasting, not just 100% relying on that 70 mil ADA, because you can only do so much with 70 mil ADA. That's just a few RLUSD mints. It's not much. In fiat terms right now, it's like what, like $30 million. What are you going to do with $30 million in terms of securing these and doing issuance? So I have the gut feeling that these guys, Emergo, IOG, Cardano Foundation, are also going to take out of their own pocket when it comes to issuance and pushing these partnerships and integrations beyond the horizon. So guys, very exciting times. You can feel the bullish spark and that fantastic newfound unity between the founding entities. So smash that subscribe, smash that like. I will see you guys in the next Angry Crypto Show.